This is Car Guys New England, your YouTube channel for anything automotive. This is Jay with Car Guys New England, and today's an interesting topic, and I just really thought of this recently. I was having a conversation with Boston Sean after a Dream Ride, and he had rode in a Aventador SV Coupe, and he brought up some very interesting points about the driving experience of a Roadster versus a Coupe, and honestly, I never really gave it that much thought until that point. So one of the issues, obviously not having a top on the car, is it's a lot louder. It's a totally different driving experience because you don't have something to muffle the wind noise and things like that. And there's actually a lot of times where I get home from a long ride and my ears are actually ringing just from the engine sound and just the wind noise, or I get a headache from driving the car too long. So that's one problem with having a Roadster, or that makes it very different than owning a coupe. And another thing too, so I don't like putting the top on the car at all because it just looks awful. It looks like a toupee on a guy with a bald head and silver hair, and it's like a brown toupee on there. It just looks out of place. So I end up, and I'm pretty fair-skinned, but especially at the beginning of the season, I burn to a crisp. And actually, you can kind of see I got a farmer's tan there. And that's from driving in this. So I'm literally driving down the road and I'm cooking in the sun. And I'm not a big fan of putting on sunscreen because, and to come to light, there's been a lot of studies saying stuff about how that you're absorbing those chemicals into your blood. So, my suspicions were confirmed about that, but that's a totally different subject. So, the driving experience, if you're in a coupe, you're out of the sun, you can put on the AC, you're comfortable, it's quiet. In this, very loud, you're burning in the sun, and that's just another reason why the coupe is a different driving experience over the Roadster. And the third scenario, where the coupe actually wins over the Roadster as well, is getting stuck in the rain. And that has happened to me a couple times this season. And if you're going a certain speed, water tends not to come into the vehicle, which is nice. But in a coupe, again, you just put the windows up and you don't even worry about it. So coupe wins again there. So the one thing that I love about the Murcielago Roadster is it's a more immersive driving experience. And I've just been thinking about this. You get the wind rushing by you. You can hear the sound of the engine very clearly. Very interesting. And the other thing too, as far as having no roof on the vehicle, obviously you can see a lot of interesting things like going through the mountains or going over huge bridges, stuff like that. So it's a more immersive driving experience. And there is absolutely zero argument from me that the Aventador Roadster has a better roof system than the Murcielago. You have to remember that on the Murcielago Roadster, the roof was an afterthought, and it wasn't really thought out too well. But again, I love the Murcielago. I've wanted one of these since the first generation cars came out. So, that's what I have, and I love it. So probably one comment that I'll definitely see down in the comments will be somebody saying, well, why didn't you get the Aventador Roadster? And yes, absolutely, it has a better roof. The roof was well thought out on the Aventador Roadster, but I always wanted a Murcielago, and that's what I gravitated towards. I just love the lines of this car. It's just beautiful, and and also I love the look of the Murcielago Roadster, so that's why I went with it. So anyways, there's some pros and cons of a coupe versus a Roadster Murcielago. If you guys are considering these cars, hopefully you take these points into consideration in your choice. Just remember that you're going to be a lot more limited with the Roadster as far as where you can go and planning things out around the rain, getting sunburnt, stuff like that. So just give it a lot of thought and some research. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like. If you have questions or comments, be sure to comment down below. This is Jay with Car Guys New England. Until next time, take care.